You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Excited that we're able to tune in once again to our community, really look at what they're asking in terms of their health, wellness, fitness, weight loss, anti-aging based questions. We've got some great ones today. I was able to just take a quick peek at what they are. I don't like to do too much prep work before the questions come in because I really want them to be almost like when I'm at a seminar and I'm speaking from the stage, and then I allow people to basically grab a microphone and ask me questions. And what I try to do is give them exactly what we do for my practice. Nothing fancy, no hearsay about this should work, this may work. It's exactly what we do. So I want to be able to give you that same exact advice every Saturday and every Sunday on the Cabral HouseCall. And for me, that means giving you the best place to start. So a lot of times people write in with some complicated health-based conditions. What I want to do is I want to give you the place that if you were to ask me, if it was a family member, anyone, hey, here's exactly the lab that I would recommend in order for you to go a little bit deeper, for you to figure out exactly what's going on with your body, things that we can't see. Because remember, we're only looking skin deep. We're looking at our overall appearance or maybe our symptoms of how we feel. But we don't always know that a gut-based issue can cause inflammation, which can then cause some type of autoimmune-based issue. Or we don't always know that stress is actually affecting our digestive system or our immune system or our ability to lose weight because it's affecting our ability to fully metabolize or break down fat through a process called lipolysis rather than using sugar as a fuel source. And again, going on a fasted-based diet or dropping your carbs super low for a long time is not the answer. That's a Band-Aid approach. That's almost like a pharmaceutical-based approach in conventional medicine. We don't want to do that. We want to look at how do we go deeper? How do we fix this at a root causal level so that this doesn't ever be an issue in the future? So that's what we want to do right now. I can't wait to get into our weekend questions. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Now, the nice thing is these are actually coming in. So this one here is from August. So it's August 12th. Now, I know that it seems like that's a long time ago, and it is. We're still a little bit behind, but we're catching up a little bit. So I'm kind of excited about that. Usually we're 12, 13 weeks or so behind. Right now we're about 11 weeks. So we've caught a little bit of ground. Again, excited. I'm going to run through a lot of questions today, make sure that hopefully we give out as many answers and places to start as possible. The first one, a couple really easy ones right off the bat. How do I find out more information about the wellness coaching that Dr. Cabral said he's releasing this fall? I'm interested in that course where he teaches you how to heal others. I can't find it on the website, though. It's a great question. This is from Taylor. We don't do a great job of advertising. We're not a big marketing advertising company. We should probably work on that maybe in the future to be able to get it out to more people. It's definitely not listed on the Stephen Cabral website, but I talk about it quite often on the podcast, and I do send out an email to my newsletter list. So you can go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org. That's integrativehealthpractitioner.org. We just released it last month. We did a second opening now, and unfortunately, we are all sold out. We sold out all of our member spots, which has happened the last 2 times. The only 2 times that we've opened on Thursday, I believe. So we are closed now, but I don't know if we'll reopen in 2018. Just stay tuned. Simply go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org, and you may sign up at the little link that will put you on the email notification list. And that's when you'll know when it's back open again. But you can find out all the details at integrativehealthpractitioner.org. Amazing group of people. I can't even begin to tell you how much fun it is. It's a ton of work on our end as a team to be able to put this curriculum, because it is a massive curriculum that's growing and growing. Obviously, it's not overwhelming. We give you about 3 to 4 hours. It's self-paced per module. You can take as long as you want or do it as fast as you want. We release one new one per week, and Again, we have level 1 and we have level 2 right now. Will we do a level 3 in the future? Yes, but that's to be decided. I'm going to finish up our level 2 this spring, and people, again, can take it on their own. They can move at their own pace. There's no rush on us. We don't keep... A lot of people charge you if you don't finish within 6 months. That's not what we're going to do. And I'm just really excited for how this community is going to grow. And then we'll talk about potentially a level 3 more anti-aging based one in the future. So check it out. Just go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org. Stephanie's up next, and she is asking, I was wondering, is there any way to buy the prenatal vitamins with the DHEA by itself or and not with the iron supplements? Great question. And you know what? If that is not available at equilibriumnutrition.com, I'm going to make sure that my team within 2 weeks is able to separate those out on the website. So stay tuned for that. And StephenCabral.com/1009. That's where you can see all of these questions and all of the links. So today is November 10th, if you're listening today on Saturday. That should be done by, let's say, the 24th. That's 2 weeks. We'll promise to have it done by then. All right, so check in then. And Judy's up next. Now, for product questions, you can always email us, though, as well at support@equilibriumnutrition.com. We're happy to help. Judy's up next. Hi, Dr. Ball. I enjoy listening to your podcast. Can you share your thoughts on seed cycling to improve hormones? Does it work? If so, can you explain the best approach? Great question. And this was done in the early 900s. Let's see if I can find that show. And it was episode 935. That was on August 24th. So you asked this question on August 13th, and maybe somehow I knew, but 11 days later I put out that podcast. So you probably already heard the podcast, but for people that have not heard how seed cycling helps to improve a woman's menstrual cycle, do check that out. That was a very popular show, and that was a lot of fun, honestly, for me to do that show because that wasn't something I've even used in my practice before 18 months ago or so. So because, again, we do a lot of foods and nutritional supplements, but we didn't do the specific seed cycling. And that's why I'm always staying open. I really am. I mean, I stay open to everything as long as it's safe, as long as it's healthy, and as long as it's going to get me a proven track record of results, because that's what people come to us for. So I'm excited to share that with you in depth. If people have not heard about seed cycling, check out episode 935. Just go to StephenCabral.com/935. Thanks, Judy. Keven is up next. Keven, and it's Keven. In November 2016, I weighed 317 pounds and was on the standard fat person prescription protocol. In 2017, I received type 2 diabetes news. My dentist suggested plant food diet. I began eating 90% of my diet from a place in Exeter, New Hampshire. I plug them as often as I can. I don't know that place, but it's Laney&Lu's, so I have no idea, but I'm sure it's fantastic, Keven. Fast forward to March 2018. I was down to 211, diet only, began working out twice a week, walking 8 miles twice a week, and went off the tracks. I had great success with the food, but I did experience constipation and bloating very often. I'm 62, close to retirement, job stress is up, as is blood pressure. Back on blood pressure medication only. Somewhere around May, I felt the self-sabotaging set in. Just read the rain barrel effect my dentist suggested, and bells and whistles are going off. Am I too old for your program? Keven, absolutely not. No, not at all. I mean, we see people every day in our practice in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. We don't see a lot of people in their 90s and 100s, but we've actually seen a few. So, no, absolutely not. I mean, I'm excited for you. You've lost 100 pounds. You've done a great job. You're already on your way. Let's do some detoxification-based protocols, the Dr. Ball Detox. Let's do that plant-based diet, but let's run the Dr. Ball Big Five, see exactly what's going on with your body. Or if you can't afford all of those, not a problem. Let's do the hair tissue mineral analysis for sure, because I want to look at your magnesium to calcium ratio and your sodium to potassium. And if I could pick one more, what would it be? It would be an organic acids test. Okay, that's our starter kit. Always, when in doubt, organic acids test and hair tissue mineral analysis. It's the most bang for your buck, and you'll get so much data on minerals and vitamins. So, Keven, that's exactly what I recommend. And no, I mean, you've got another 30 plus years. So let's make those 3 decades amazing or more. I don't want to sell you short. You could live to 100 plus. Let's take it at 4 decades. Let's always shoot for 100. Let's go for 4 decades. All right, Dustin's up next. As an elementary school teacher, I experience a lot of stress and anxiety that's affected my ability to sleep through the night. Latency is not an issue. In order to address this, I've started using a stimulator, which is for cranial electrotherapy stimulation for 20 minutes in the evening. If I eat well, if my nutrition is great, and I address toxicity deficiencies, do you see this as a helpful, positive health practice? Interested in your perspective on the Fisher-Wallace stimulator in general. Honestly, Dustin, I don't know enough about that. I apologize. I simply don't know enough about what that is, but I can tell you this, that it is an artificial stimulator, and it should not be something that you need in order to have a great night's sleep. So maybe it's fine in the short term. I would check the EMFs on it, but honestly, I don't want there to be any type of cranial stimulator in order to fall asleep. And the reason is that we can figure out what's going on. We can run a sleep and stress-based test, or we can run a thyroid adrenal hormone test, or we can have you use our deep sleep protocol with Adrenal Soothe at dinner. So you can take any one of those options, the lab testing, or do the best rest protocol that we have. The deep sleep protocol that we offer, plus the Adrenal Soothe 2 capsules at dinner. All right, Dustin, thanks for writing in. Ellie's up next. I'd love to hear your opinion on a training split involving power explosive workouts. I want to train power and explosiveness more. I currently have a deadlift day and a squat day, both are full body workouts, and another day for MFT training and conditioning. Aside from those days, I have a fourth day where I do hill sprints with a 1-to-3 work rest ratio. Could I train for power on a hill sprint day? And if so, should I do the hill sprints first or the power workout first? This is a great question. So she writes, I'm a personal trainer who loves daily movement, and your podcast is such an inspiration to me. I'm amazed at your knowledge and your approach to helping others. Thanks so much for caring about the world and the people and everyone in it. So, Ellie, this is a great question. You know what? I would love for you to get a copy of my book called A Man's Guide to Muscle and Strength, available on Amazon. It's available on Equilibrium Nutrition. Again, I always tell people, I promote the book. I wrote it. Obviously, I'm biased towards it. I've been in the field for quite some time. It's for women as well as men. And again, not being a salesman, I make about $1 a copy when that book gets sold. So, again, you don't write books to try to get rich. You write books to hopefully pass on your knowledge to the next generation or a new generation. So, this is actually an easier fix than you think. Keep all of your workout days how you want them. But what I want to do is, at least in the beginning of your workout, is to add in your explosiveness. So when you're training, the best way to train, if you're going to add everything into one workout, now I'm not saying you're going to do that because it looks like you're doing 4 days a week, is you're going to train for explosiveness, plyometrics, and the most neurologically complicated in the beginning of your workout. Now, you'll do a general warm-up, you'll do a dynamic or specific warm-up, and then you'll do your plyometrics or explosiveness. And the reason you do that is you need the most neurological output and the greatest amount of coordination with the least amount of fatigue. I don't know what you're talking about power and explosiveness, but I'm assuming that it's plyometrics or it's cleans, it's snatches, it's anything explosive, right? So great. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I mean, Olympic lifts are just absolutely fantastic for everyone. You do have to know how to do the correct form, but that can be taught. So, keep in mind, you could do explosives in the beginning of your workout, then you could work to strength, which is going to be more moderate rep, and then you're going to go potentially higher rep at the end of the workout. Now, not for every workout, and you know that because you're showing your splits right now. So what I would say is you have your heavy day, you have your deadlifts and your squat, put those into one workout without a doubt. Then if you want to do an explosive day where you have some box jumps and you have some cleans either from the floor or hang cleans, and maybe you have a clean to an overhead press or a clean and a jerk or clean and snatch, all of those would be great. And then after that, could you run hill sprints? Yes, but you might be a little bit neurologically wiped out or exhausted. So after you do those explosive movements, you could simply do some core work or you could do some cardio after that as well. It really depends on your volume. I just don't know how deep you're looking to train, but let me just go with this for you. You typically go from most neurologically complex, which is typically lower repetitions because it's challenging, like box jumps. I mean, if you're doing box jumps, if you're doing it for real explosiveness, you're probably doing under 8 reps. Most likely you're doing like 3 to 5 reps in a row maximum. So neurological and then strength-based, somewhere between 5 and 8 reps. You might be doing 5 sets of 5. You might be doing 4 sets of 8. You might be modulating that, and I can't give the exact. And then after that would be hypertrophy. You don't really need to have all the neurological components to be able to do cable chest press at a higher rep for around 12 reps or 15 reps. And then after that, cardio or just intervals. So, that is how you break it down. The beginning of your workout should be your most neurologically complex. And neurologically complex simply means telling your brain to go down your spinal column to innervate your nerves to tell your muscles how to work. So that's the neuromuscular system. That was a mouthful. I apologize about that, but I do have a lot of these programs in that book too, A Man's Guide to Muscle and Strength. And again, it is for women as well. My publisher wanted to call it A Man's Guide to Muscle and Strength. They're a great publisher. They're the biggest in the nation for personal trainers in the fitness industry with Human Kinetics. Great brand, great company. Totally stand by them. They have amazing books besides my book. But again, it's just semantics. We just call it A Man's Guide to Muscle and Strength because the publisher was looking to market more to men. I didn't know that at the time. I was a young buck in my 20s and had no idea what I was getting myself into with that contract. It was a terrible contract. But, you live and you learn, and I didn't write it to make a lot of money. I wrote it to write a book and teach people my best stuff when it came to exercise. And I'm still very happy with the book. I mean, I wouldn't change anything. Exercise doesn't change. A lot of people think exercise, when you're doing it correctly, it's not going to change. It's really not. So it's been around for, since our bodies have been around. All right, let's move on to Natalie. I've heard Dr. Cabral mention a certification class that he's teaching multiple times. I was wondering where to get more information on this. Thank you, Natalie. All right, Natalie, great question. And that was the same as Taylor. It's at integrativehealthpractitioner.org, not .com, but .org. And that is currently sold out. Just sign up for the waiting list, and we will let you know when we open up next. We typically allow 100 people in at a time just to take really great care of them. And we take care of them for at least a month, sometimes 2 months or more. And then what we do, they're always taken care of, but we wait at least a month or two before we open up the next. Okay, let's go move on to Belle because we're moving right along here. My dearest friend is experiencing extreme fatigue in the morning, but 3 out of 7 days of the week, he says the extreme fatigue lasts all day. Not even naps will help. He cut out carbs when he was trying to lose weight 3 years ago. Now when he has carbs, he feels his glucose spike 15 to 20, 30 minutes after he eats, then crashes. He exercises regularly, moves his body, sleeps 7 hours a night. Sleep quality is not great. Tried to manipulate his diet, especially with certain foods. Smoothies make him feel like he needs to sleep. Protein breaks down too quickly. He's 28, 140 pounds, less than 8% body fat, and 5'6". He says if he drives after lunch, he will nod off. His sensitivity is increasing. All right, these are all really good data points. He thinks it might be from coffee, so his next adjustment was to eliminate coffee. Sometimes not even coffee will wake him up. Where should he start? All right, and it says aloha and mahalo from Oahu. That's great, and you know that Hawaii is one of my favorite places in the world. It really is. It's we took our young girls there, especially with my daughter. My youngest daughter was only a year and a half. And it was literally this life-transforming trip. It's just so great, so much you're on an island. I'm 6 hours behind my typical work day, which means when they're done at, let's say, 6 o'clock, it's only noon my time. And so it was incredible. It was very, very amazing. And I love Oahu. I love Maui. I love Kauai. Those are 3 islands that I've been to, and they're all great. So, sorry, a little reminiscing right there for a moment. And let's see here. Okay, well, we can certainly help your friend. And I'll tell you a couple things that I'm looking at. One thing is I'm looking at depleted potential mineral levels and electrolytes. So none of that is going to be fixed by caffeine or by carbs or any of those things. So I'd love him to run a hair tissue mineral analysis. And of course, I would love the organic acids test to see what's going on when he eats a lot of these healthy foods that he's starting to feel tired as well. So those are my first two. Okay, hair tissue mineral analysis, then organic acids test. The third one is a thyroid adrenal hormone. Because anyone who's suffering like this, we need to look at cortisol. Does this person have Addison's disease? We need to look at that. Are they producing any cortisol like I had? So want to look at that. And then if you wanted to run a fourth, I would run the stool test. Now, of course, you could run food sensitivity test, and they could run the omega-3 test. All of them are amazing. That's the Dr. Ball Big 5 plus the stool test. But if we're trying to save on finances, in my order for your friend, it would go hair tissue mineral analysis, organic acids test. It would go thyroid adrenal hormone, stool test, omega-3, and then food sensitivities. That's the order that I would do them in if you were choosing. So, Belle, hopefully that's helping. The thing is, I would love to give you an answer. This is a complicated case, right? It's not going to be possible over a podcast that I could tell you what to do. It would be so unethical of me. Honestly, it would be very unethical of me to give any recommendations to even a third party, not even to your friend, but also without having any type of data. We would just be guessing, and I don't want to guess. I want to help people get well. All right, Shari is up next, Shari. I ordered the food sensitivity test in early spring, purchased 2 tests and gave one to my sister. And let's see here, mailed it on July 1st. I've not heard back regarding the lab test. Should I be concerned that the test never reached you? Naturally, I cannot find the shipping label. What should I do? Thank you. All right, Sherry, happy that you wrote in, but the truth is, it does say on the Ask Cabral page that this is not for customer service. I'm not coming down on you. I'm not upset. But a lot of people, it's hard to imagine, but I get 300 plus emails a day. I probably get somewhere around 100 to 150 minimum direct messages on Instagram. I get hundreds of Facebook messages, but I don't even check them, to be honest. I can't check them. There's just so many. And on Cabral's support group, we probably get 100 comments and questions minimum. So we're getting over 1,000 touch points a day. So the best thing that we can do, and I try to do that on Ask Cabral, is direct you exactly to where to get that answer the same day. I mean, we have a large team now, and I employ a great team, and all their whole job is to make sure that you get your question answered. That's it. So we're always happy to do that. But on the Ask Cabral, these are only read when it's time. So you wrote this in on August 15th, and now it's November 10th. So what I'm saying, though, is I believe you probably already got your answer. But the other thing is, on the lab instructions, it says once you mail in your lab, email support@equilibriumnutrition.com or support@stephencabral.com. And then what we do is we set you up with your health coaching consultation 3 to 4 weeks after that day, because that's how long it takes in to get those lab results. I personally read every single lab that comes through equilibriumnutrition.com, whether you're a private wellness client or not, and I personally give my recommendations. So I'm sure you're taken care of, but email is always better because I honestly don't have any of those answers. So when you write into Ask Cabral, it's just me. I'm Cabral. So that's it. When you want the team, you email our team. All right. Tammy's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. A bit of a TMI question. I have regular bowel movements. 1 big, normal one in the morning, and 2 smaller ones that are more runny during the day. However, I have a feeling that my bowels are never fully empty. I also need to pass the wind very often, and sometimes a little bit of fecal matter comes out. Do you think this is a pelvic floor dysfunction or something that has to do with my gut flora? Thank you so much for your help. No, definitely not TMI. I mean, every single person I work with, I ask them about their bowel movement habits, and that's because I need to know what's going on. If you're not having 1 to 2 bowel movements per day, well, then there's something wrong with the peristaltic movement. There's something wrong with your diet. There's something wrong with the microbiome. There's something wrong. So you gave me the answer that I was looking for, basically, and that's you have a larger bowel movement in the morning, passing a lot of bulk, and then 2 smaller ones that are looser during the day. So there's absolutely some type of microbiome dysfunction, and there also could be a stress-induced peristaltic move, a greater peristaltic movement, a greater compression, squeezing on the intestines, which could sometimes cause looser stool. Here's what I want to do, because I just want to figure this out. I recommend the organic acids test and the stool test to figure out what is going on with that gut microbiome. The organic acids test will check for your yeast and fungal and bacterial, your C. diff-based levels. And then the stool test will look for H. pylori, parasites, and bacterial overgrowth. They're amazing labs. I mean, they really are. We pick the best of the best. Remember, anytime I offer a lab, they're not our labs. They're not our labs, and I will never run our own labs because I don't know how to run a lab facility, right? I know how to read the results, and I can give you the best protocol to help you get well. So that's not what we do. So again, we let the professionals, the best lab companies. I spend my own money. I double blind test these. I make sure that they're accurate. And again, I have no allegiance to any one of them. We very well may switch to another one in the future. We very well may do that. But what I can tell you this is that the ones that we're using right now are the very best of the best. Who knows? Maybe in the future, a better one comes out. I'm always testing new ones. People ask me, like, why aren't you using this lab test for your hormones? And I just let them know. And I will never disparage anyone on a podcast. I let them know, listen, I tested it, tried it out, didn't get the data points correct. They were not correct. And if they're not reproducible, and it's not the same as another lab that I already know works, as well as blood work, and both of those show the same, and then I test this new one, and it's different, I have to throw it out. It's not going to work. So I would like you to run the organic acid test and stool test, and then for a bonus add-on, the food sensitivity would be great. So all of those labs are always at the show notes page. So you can go to StephenCabral.com/1009 for all of the questions from today, all of the links, and of course, all the labs that I mentioned are also available at equilibriumnutrition.com. Hopefully this was helpful. I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing weekend. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to StephenCabral.com/courses.